Welcome, everybody. Glad you jumped on the call tonight. We're going to be on the call for probably about 25 to 30 minutes, so I appreciate you taking that time out of your life to jump on this call this evening with us. My name is Craig Holliday, and I'm going to kind of be hosting the call along with my brother, Kevin Bright, and we're just going to lay out some things to you tonight so you can help understand what we're doing in this industry and what we're doing in this profession and what we're doing in this business right now. And I just want to give you a little bit of my background. I've been in network marketing now for 35 years. I got involved in 1979. I was 29 years old, and my first experience, someone sat down with me and shared the business, just like kind of like what we're doing tonight. It actually wasn't a webinar. We didn't have computers then, so it's sitting across the table with a legal pad and a red pen, and he threw out a presentation and a business opportunity. And I'd kind of been at a place in my life where I owned a construction company. I worked in law enforcement, and I worked for 7 years without a day off. And it was kind of a perfect timing for me. They say that success in life a lot of times comes from timing and preparedness, and I'd definitely been prepared. And, owning my own construction company, 25 employees, working 7 days a week for 7 years without a day off, and then also working nights in law enforcement. And so I've been prepared, but the timing to sit down and take a look at this opportunity, not knowing anything about network marketing, not knowing anything about the profession. But once I took a look at it and understood it, I got excited about it. I'll tell you why, because it got into my life. I'd always realized, I read some books about success and realized that there's a three phases to life. Most people are in a survival stage or a success stage or a significant stage. And when I was introduced to network marketing, I realized that it was a business, the only business I had ever seen where you could have success and significance simultaneously, to where your success is based on the significance that you become, your significance in the lives of other people. And I got excited about that. I've been in ministry, and I've been in really a lot of people-type businesses in giving and working with people from all walks of life, blue-collar, white-collar. So when I saw this business, I saw it as a great opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people. And so I got involved in 32 months from the time I started. It took me about 2 years to get rid of my construction company and get out of law enforcement. And then within 3 years, I was making a seven-figure income in network marketing at the age of 32, and went on to build a multiple seven-figure income and built that business for 25 years, and then stepped away basically from network marketing, not because I didn't love it and I wasn't passionate about it, but I went some different directions. I got into ministry, created a father and son reconciliation ministry called Mariah Ministries, and did motivational speaking, and still stayed active in the lives of people, because that's really what I believe my purpose and calling was. And then 2012 September, I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Isaac Ben Shabbat, and Isaac had built $1 billion company through kiosks, a skincare company, and 700 kiosks in 40 countries, and I sat down with a man who was really anti-network marketing in the beginning, and really didn't even believe in the business, believed it was a scam, like a lot of people in facing the business and not understanding it. And then I sat down across from him, and he told me that he's decided to shut down his entire way of doing business, his entire retail formula, which was kiosks. And he's going to go into direct sales. He's going into the profession of relational marketing. And I was fascinated by that. I remember asking him the question, why would you do that, Isaac? You built $1 billion company. You were the largest in skincare in the world. L'Oreal came to you and wanted to buy your company for multiple millions of dollars of income, and you turned it down. Why? And he said, because at this point in my life, I'm 37 years old. We've built a fortune in my family, but I want to build a community of wealth. I want to be significant in the lives of people. And I remember when the light went on for me that night when Isaac said, I want to be significant, because that had been kind of my mantra or my word from the time I got in network marketing at the age of 29. And when I looked at this business, I was 61 years old. And I just knew that when it comes to network marketing, there were certain formulas that had to be in place, a proven product, not one that you were going to test, not one that was new. So we had to go out and try to convince people that it would work. A proven product with a debt-free company, with a leadership and a corporate organization of people that believed in the right things, and that was life change and giving opportunity to people around them. So tonight, I want to ask you a couple of questions tonight as we get started. Those of you, especially those of you that are prospects on this call, we're not here to convince you of anything, but I always know that the mind's like a parachute. Unless it's open, it doesn't work. And I just want to challenge you for the next 30 minutes to open your mind. Maybe you've been in network marketing. Maybe you've never even looked at the business. Maybe you had preconceived ideas about it. Let me just ask you a couple questions as we get started tonight. First one is, do you have a plan for 2014 to own your life, your time, and your finances? Do you have a plan in place right now for 2014 and 2015 with a plan where you can own your life and your time and your finances? Another question, are you willing to put aside all your preconceived ideas about the networking profession and learn from one who has made millions in the industry? Next question, how many dreams that you have planned on accomplishing have become a reality? How many of the dreams that you've had in your life, from maybe some of you as a child like me, that you just knew that someday you were going to do something magnificent and amazing things were going to happen and you were going to be significant, how many of those have actually become reality in your life? The next question is, would you be willing to spend 10 to 15 hours a week to build a residual six-figure income? And another question I have, are you willing to bet on you? Because really this business is a business of being willing to bet on yourself. You know, we have multiple six-figure earners in this company in a little over 2 years. We have seven-figure earners in this company. But I understand that doesn't apply to you. What applies to you is the question is, hey, will this work for me, and can I really do it? And those are the questions that are in your mind tonight. And the last one is, are you teachable and willing to be mentored? Are you teachable and willing to have someone who's probably is accomplished and had the opportunity to be where it is that most of us want to be, and they want to come back and reach back and help you to get there? And I ask you those questions tonight because I want you to think about it as Kevin goes through the presentation tonight. You know, let me just talk a little bit about Kevin. You know, Kevin and I become best friends. I met he and Tara a few years back. I was working with a company called Beachbody as a consultant. I met Tara during that time, and that's Kevin's wife. And then I got a chance in Nassau at the Atlantis, the big Atlantis resort in Nassau. I spoke there for a couple thousand people, and Kevin was in the audience, and afterwards he came up to me and he said, I want to know more about what you do and how you do it and where you're going and the things that are going on in your life. And from that point on, he and I became extremely close. And the thing I love the most about Kevin and respect the most about him is he's number one is his integrity and his character, and number two is his relationship with his wife and his children, the priorities that he has in his life that are most important, how much he believes in people. But more than anything is, the thing I love about Kevin is he's the kind of person that checks stuff out. I promise you, when I shared Seacret with Kevin, he said, let me check it out. And I knew he would do due diligence. And so nobody could be better tonight than to step through and go through some of this PowerPoint with you and explain this compensation plan, explain this business to you. But, you know, Kevin's got a gold business moving on to platinum in this. He's quickly becoming, he and Tara, some of the top leaders in this company in the short period of time that he's been involved. And I'm just proud to call him a friend, and I'm proud that he and I could be on this call together tonight. And I'm going to come back later and kind of close the call tonight, but I'd love to introduce you to our speaker for tonight, the one sharing this business with us, Mr. Kevin Bright.
Thanks, Craig. That's awesome. He says he calls it I do my due diligence. Some would call it analytical. Whatever the case is. Yeah, this is a business I love, and I definitely checked it out. But let's jump right into it. You know, my wife and I, like I said, we met Craig a few years back, and it was interesting because I have an insurance background, and was in that business for 12 some odd years, and it treated us well, but we were looking for a change, and thank God we crossed paths with Craig Holliday and followed him here to Seacret. But let me go through and share some information with you and kind of give you some insight on what it was that caused me to walk away from a successful insurance business and then jump into this thing called Seacret. So, you know, what is Seacret? Who is Seacret? What is this phenomenon that people keep filling up social media with, talking about? Like Craig touched upon, it's an international skincare company. And, originally built, their sole distribution model was in kiosks, the most hostile sales environment you can find. Nobody goes to the shopping malls to visit the kiosks. We all do our best to stay away from them, not make eye contact with them. But in that most hostile of sales environments, Seacret built a billion-dollar retail product sales in I think it was over 40-some countries. So very, very successful in the kiosk business, and why is that? Let's talk about the products for a second. Is obviously the products are based upon the mineral salt mud from the Dead Sea. It's the lowest point on Earth. This body of water is something that has captivated scientists for years. There are 26 minerals in the Dead Sea. A unique combination of 12 are exclusive, found nowhere else in the world except the Dead Sea. And it carries a very natural, healing, recuperating property to it. And in fact, this kind of hit home with me and my insurance background. European insurance companies actually, when you have skin ailments, your normal, eczema, psoriasis, acne, things like that, and actually internal rheumatic issues and things like that, European insurance companies will actually pay for your travel expenses to fly to the Dead Sea, to bathe in the waters, use the mud from its shores on your skin and on your body, instead of paying for prescriptions. That's how powerful this body of water and the salt and the mud are. And the story here is really not that this is a recent discovery or some laboratory experiment that has been discovered. The Dead Sea's been around forever. Really, the opportunity here that we're all jumping into and are so excited about is that these products, this salt, this mud, this recovering, healing type of product is now accessible on a global scale to the consumer level, and it's created a huge business opportunity for all of us to be a part of. This is something interesting, and the thing I want to point out is, these are some before and after pictures, and in this world of, everybody knows very well, there's a lot of skincare companies, a lot of skincare products out there. No doubt about it. The thing is, there's not a lot of clean label skincare products out there. So that's a huge opportunity. And just to kind of give you a real quick background, the skincare industry tends to trail the nutritional industry in its trends and in buying habits. And we all know where nutritional purchases are going. We're looking for clean labeling. We're looking to take the garbage. We're starting to pay attention to ingredient labels and things like that. Well, the skincare industry is no different. And so in a world where, yes, there's a lot of skincare products, a lot of skincare companies, there's not a lot that are clean label, and so Seacret separates itself from a lot of companies. But these pictures, this slide right here is another huge differentiator with Seacret, is that it has products that carry instant results. And it's not a product where you take a pill, rub a cream, whatever the case is, 15, 30 days, 60 days later, you're expecting to see some results. These literally are 5-minute results. There's about a half a dozen, we call them wow products. And keep in mind, think with your business hat here. To succeed in a kiosk environment, you need to have product that is successful and proven, and it's fast. You're not going to succeed in a kiosk environment by taking a pill and asking the person, come back and visit me 2 months from now. You should see some results. You're never going to survive in that kiosk environment. So simply knowing that they've been successful in the kiosk environment gives credibility to the products. And then, like Craig had talked about, the passion of the family, he mentioned Isaac Ben-Shabbat, the passion of the family is to create a true community of wealth opportunity. The kiosk business, they were pushing some serious product and some serious numbers. There's no question about that. Kiosk owners were making a lot of money, but then they would have, part-time minimum wage employees sitting there all day long. It wasn't creating a true community opportunity. So some would call it business suicide. They made the decision to go not add distribution. This is a key point. Not add distribution. They went away from their kiosk business, the model that had proven to be successful, and started the relational marketing opportunity that we all are part of today. And in doing so, it provides a huge cost savings. It's a win-win situation because it provides a huge cost savings to the customer level, taking out the middleman, so to speak, and it allowed the business opportunity that we are a part of today, and that you guys are all sitting here learning about. Like Craig said, the most important thing with this information today is to become educated and make an educated decision on, is this for you or not. The relationship marketing business, it's a very interesting business. Does it carry a lot of negative information? Of course it does. It's an education process. People don't necessarily understand it. I hear all the time, is that pyramid scheme? And I kind of chuckle. Hey, at no fault of anybody's, it's an education process. The relationship marketing business is an amazing opportunity when done properly. $166 billion global industry. Millionaires, billionaires vouch for, if they had to do it all over again, many of them would go the direction of relationship marketing, and obviously on the agent opportunity, we all have the opportunity to build your own business, low startup costs, tax benefits, unlimited income potential. I will say here, and I'm going to touch on it again later, how you control both your calendar and your time is by having an income source that's not solely based on your activity. It's when you decide to take a step back, spend time with the kids, go to the beach, go on vacation, whatever the case is, and your income-generating source, the income engine, so to speak, continues to run even though you've backed away from the business. That's the only way that you can control both your calendar and your finances. In a job, we're all familiar that you exchange time for money. You want to make more money? Put in more hours. You're exchanging time for money. Relationship marketing is one of the most popular ways to accomplish that control of both time and money. And then let's talk about that here in a second here. What is this business all about? Okay, so there's people that simply fall in love with the products, and they're going to become customers, and that's great. We love our customers. There's retail opportunities. Obviously you earn a commission off. There's preferred customers. What are preferred customers? They're just simply people that they order on a more regular basis. It's like a loyalty program. The company rewards them. They get products up to, I think it's about between 40 and 60% off of retail prices simply because they're loyal. No cost to be a part of a program. It's nothing like that. No cancellation fees, nothing like that. It's just simply a loyalty program that they're generating cost savings. In fact, they can. This is kind of crazy. Customers can actually earn credit to get free product. Now, I'm not sure. Pretty much everybody can afford free, so that tends to be a good thing from the aspect of a business opportunity. And I want to touch quick on this residual income, in that it's really important when you're talking about a business opportunity, and when I talked about the controlling both your time and money, it's really important that we're talking about why skincare. It's a very key component here, and I'll tell you what, obviously you don't know me from anybody, but my background is not skincare. My knowledge in skincare was a bar of soap head to toe, that's it. But I knew business. And there's a lot of products, a lot of high-quality products out there in the marketplace that have an opportunity attached to them, but I'll tell you that when you're talking about candles, purses, jewelry, pots and pans, cleaning supplies, I can go through a whole list, high-quality products. But what you need to be in is a business that has a very consumable, repetitive consumable product. Skincare. We use soap today. We're going to use soap tomorrow. We're going to use soap next month. Shampoo, obviously you can kind of see the webcam here. I don't use as much shampoo as a lot of people do, but you use it today, use it next week, you use it next month. That's a key component to a successful business opportunity. I'm not going to name names, but there's some cleaning supplies and some cleaning rags and towels and things like that, and they're fantastic. I feel best in the marketplace, but their marketing line actually is, when you buy this product, you'll never have to buy another towel ever. And I'm thinking, well, that's awesome, but that's not a good business I want to be a part of. You'd have to reinvent your business every single month, because once I buy that towel, I don't need to buy anything else. So there's a very key component to why is skincare so powerful when you're talking about building a business. Another income line is team commissions. And I will tell you, there's 9 different income streams in this business. It's crazy. But team commission. This is a big point. I can't remember if it was J. Paul Getty or Rockefeller. So it's one of the finance geniuses in American history. He said, "I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort." And when you really understand what he's saying, you'll start to understand this team commission, that if I introduce the business to somebody, and they introduce the business to somebody, and they introduce the business to somebody, and my income is a result of everybody's effort, not just my own, now you enter into that world like I was talking about of residual income, and that's a game changer. I'll tell you, that is a game changer. Now you are going down the path of truly building a business and a strong residual income business, and that's what I was talking about before on the income engine, so to speak, continues to operate even when you have backed off from the business. I'm going to slow down. I see some notes here. The slides are a little bit behind, so I'm going to slow down a little bit here. Another income stream, leadership check match. And I'll be honest with you, this is one of my favorite income streams in the entire opportunity, because, as a general rule of life, you help somebody else get to where they want to go, you in turn will get to where you want to go. It's not a cliche, it's not a business strategy, it's a way of life. It just so happens in this business you are financially rewarded for doing exactly that. Show somebody the business, help them, we call it sponsor them in the business, and then help them to be successful. And obviously we are there. There's people that have more experience, but it's when you help other people become successful in the business, excuse me, you in turn are financially rewarded, and you in turn will be successful as well. This is my favorite income stream in the entire opportunity. How do you get started? Obviously we've kind of touched on briefly. You can generate a relationship with Seacret by becoming a customer, retail customer, preferred customer. We love our customers, no doubt about that. Or you can be that person that says, we need more income. Maybe we need more time. Maybe we're paying the bills, but it's because we're working so much. I don't want to have our kids raised in a daycare anymore. I want to be able to be at home with the kids. I don't want to miss any more soccer games or baseball games or whatever the case is. That's where the agent opportunity is for you. And we'll go through on how to really get things rolling here. One of the important aspects to really any business is we want to try to put money in your pocket as fast as possible. I'll tell you what, back in my insurance days, they were honest. I'll give them credit. They were at least honest. They said that, it's got a high income opportunity, large income opportunity, but you're going to go a number of months before you make any money. At least they were honest with me, and I battled through it and made it work. But in reality, our goal is to put money in your pocket as fast as possible. This is a superstar bonus. Go out, help show somebody else the business. Put a few $100s into your pocket ASAP, and you literally can start generating this income from day one. There's not a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month build-up to truly building an income. You could go and generate this income the day of you sign up. So immediate income is a key to long-term success. And then they have additional bonuses. I know the income opportunities just kind of go on, and almost seems to be too much. But we have bonuses. And as your business grows, I'm not going to get overly technical here on the business, but as your business grows, you're into a new rank, a new level, and every time you rank to a new level, there's a one-time, these are the numbers at the bottom of the circles, a one-time rank advance bonus, and you can see they rank all the way up to $1 million. Not a bad bonus. And the bonus up on top of the circles is actually a monthly bonus, just simply because you are that rank, you're going to get that bonus every single month. You can go lay on a beach for a month, you're still going to get that bonus. Now, they call it a car bonus, drive your dream bonus. Other businesses, I know they lock you into a lease. You have to drive a black such and such vehicle. Seacret doesn't do that. Seacret realizes that cash is king. Here's an additional monthly bonus. Use it for whatever you want. Go buy a vehicle of your dreams. But if you just need cash to pay the bills for now, that's great. Cash is king. and that's how they pay that out. So, training and support. Craig touched on this a little bit. This is really, I look at it as, a tour guide versus a travel agent mentality. A travel agent will sit behind a desk and say, go here, go do this, go do that, and not offer a lot of support in how to do it. They just simply give direction, where a tour guide actually says, you know what, where do you want to go, how fast do you want to get there, let's hold hands, let's grasp arms, you want to sprint, let's sprint, you want to walk, let's walk, but we're going to go and do it together. And that's really one of the keys to building a business is, number one, you're asking yourself a couple questions. Is this for me? And number two, you're asking will you help me? Actually, Dana's just telling me, we are seeing the superstar slide. So, is that accurate? Type that again, Dana. Are you still on the... Yeah, Alicia's saying slide 11 is... Yeah, slide 11 is what we're on. Okay, training and support. Cool. That's the one that we should be on right now. Good. Now I'm gonna fool you. I'm going to slide the next one now. Take action now. Register, secure your position, select your starter set. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And we want to get you going. Book a wow party. We like to call them launch parties here up in Wisconsin. We get together with you and help you really get going in your business. And like I said, do it with you. We do it, you watch. How do you do this business? Well, we do it, you watch, then you do it, we watch, and then you're ready to go do it yourself. It's not something that you're obviously going to be left out in the dark to go figure out your... Dana's typing. I think, Dana, your computer must be behind because people are saying that they're on 12. Yeah, that's what we're on right now. I apologize, Phil. Hopefully we're making it through this.
That's okay, bro. Just keep going ahead. I think it's our computer's role. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
So just for everybody's sake, the picture I'm on right now should be the starter packages. So that's what should be up on the screen right now. And these are the starter sets. And how do you get started in this business? There's three different ways to get started. Obviously, the special agent set. I'm not going to say it contains the entire inventory, but it contains a lot of the inventory. And things I do want to point out is right in front there's green packaging. We call it the green line. That's the anti-aging line. Now, you talk about opportunity, the anti-aging market. We all know the baby boomers, their number one desire, look and feel young. It's the largest segment of our population, with disposable income. The baby boomers, I think there's some 10,000 turning 65 every single day. It's going to happen for the next 19 years. That is a crazy, crazy big market, and it's only going to be getting bigger. I think Mark Twain said once, you want to be successful in business, find out where everybody's going and get there first. And that anti-aging market is astronomical right now, and it's going to continue to get even bigger. The premium set, $550, fantastic set. You will notice it does not contain the anti-aging products, but it's a strong starter set. It has many of the wow products, the very highly demonstratable products that I touched upon earlier. The basic set, it is exactly what it says. It's basic. If I was opening a furniture store, I need furniture. Obviously, this basic set would be the equivalent of, I have a couch and a chair. I have a business. My doors are open for business. I don't have a lot of tools to show anybody or to demonstrate, but I have a legitimate business. It's kind of typically very situational, where maybe somebody I can upgrade in 3 weeks, but I want to get started today. Have to do the basic and then upgrade to a larger package as soon as you can. So that's the three ways to get rolling. And talk to the person who invited you on this call. We can get more detailed on those options and what's the best fit for you. But definitely talk to the person that invited you on this call. That folks is basically the Seacret business in a nutshell. I'm going to throw this back to Mr. Craig Holliday, and you'll see he's given me the okay. I've actually gone as far as listed his cell phone right there on the screen for everybody. So Craig, go ahead and close us up.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it, but I appreciate the mechanics of the business there too. And I apologize. I think our computer was 3 slides behind or something like that. So, and I know every time we sent a message to you, I saw your eyes go down, and then all of a sudden you lost your train of thought. So I apologize that we did that to you, but that was a great presentation. And I know a lot of you that have been on the call tonight. You gained some of the mechanics of the business. I can just tell you, if some of you will just take heed and at least trust me a little bit tonight. Like I said, I've been in this industry 35 years, and as far as a hybrid compensation plan, there isn't a one in the industry that can match what we're doing right now. And the big advantage that we have with the comp plan, it was only developed 2.5 years ago. So what we did was we were able to take all the binaries out there, all the companies with binaries, look at the downside of them, look at the things that worked, look at the things that didn't work, and realize that we were going to put together a comprehensive binary plan that would reward people in the beginning, reward them for effort, create generational compensation. And one of the things I've taught since I've been in this industry is you have to build 4 generations deep of leaders on your team. And each one, when you personally sponsor someone, I need to build 3 levels of leadership deep and generational leadership. So when I look at the comp plan, as I sat down with Isaac, he had 4 generations deep with a check match. So you get 20%, 10%, 10%, 10%. So they built right into the compensation plan the things you need to do to be most successful in the business. But I know a lot of you are on this call tonight, and you probably look at different companies. And you know what? I got to just be honest with you. From the time I stopped building Amway business over 12 years ago, I was approached by every company out there to come aboard. I built an 80,000 person organization. Everybody's trying to look for players that have been successful in one company to come to another. And I sat down with numbers of CEOs, and I sat down with a number of recruiters that were trying to get me to look at other companies, and I had no interest. And I'll tell you why. Because I know the formula that it takes for a company to be the best, for a company to be a legacy company. I was on the board of directors of Amway. They're a 60-year-old company. They're a company that does $13 billion a year. So I know the formula. They did $500,000 or $500 million when I got started in 1979. So from there to $13 billion, I know the formula that has to be in place for a business to be successful. And so when I sat down with Isaac and saw what they had in place, Kevin covered it well. To have a provable product that can be proven in 15 minutes. A lot of times people are saying, well, take these supplements in 30 days from now, I promise you're going to feel better. And let me show you my business. If I can put product on someone in 15 minutes, I don't have to talk about the product anymore because that's done. And now we can talk business. 70% of our agents are men. You say, well, why would 70% of the men be in the skincare industry? Because they're business-minded. Not that women aren't, but a lot of the men come in as business-minded. The top 10 billion-dollar-plus companies a year in network marketing, the top 10, 9 of them have skincare. And it's because it's a thing like Kevin talked about. It's replenishable. You need to use it. You need to use it again next month. Right now the anti-aging movement is the most aggressive, fastest purchasers in the world right now, and most aggressive are baby boomers. Right now in the United States, 10,000 people are turning 25 or 65 every day for the next 19 years. We have the finest, already proven to be the finest anti-aging skin line in the world today. Manufactured by L'Oreal, who has 550 makeup companies, and yet they only manufacture for us because they wanted to buy us, and we said no because it's a family business. I share that because these are the formulas. The next one is you have to have a non-greedy, a company that's not out to make more money. We pay 65 cents on the dollar. Okay, here's a company that has all the wealth that they need. That's why they continue to be driven by the field, where the field says, we need this, and Isaac says, okay. We need this, and he says, okay. We need a training system. We just rolled out the finest training system that's ever been developed, both online and in person in the industry. We have a boot camp with every video for everything you need to know to start your business. So we've created almost a simplistic way to get started in a business where many of you on this call probably know very little about. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is have a dream. Nobody wants to know where you've been. All they want to know is where you want to go. And that's one of the things that fascinated me about this business and this industry. So we have a debt-free company, a company that's not driven by how much money can we make, a company that's dropped the price of the products from the kiosk down 60%, and we've already, and this company's doing millions and millions and millions of dollars in volume every month. And I'm talking about the direct sales company, not the kiosk business. And we're doing it in 5 countries, and we'll open 5 more in the next 9 to 12 months. So the opportunity is sitting here waiting. But the question is, I asked in the beginning for you, is for each of you, is it worth it, and can I do it? Let me ask you a question. When I got network marketing, I was 29 years old. At age 32, I had my first son. And for the next 20 years, we got the chance to travel the world, and I was a full-time dad, full-time coach, doing the things that I dreamed about and loved. My dad left when I was 7. I lost him in my life forever. He didn't die. He just left. And so I knew when I had children, I wanted to spend time with them. Time was valuable to me. And so, is it worth it to know that tomorrow you don't have to go to a job, that you can go coach Little League, that you can spend time with your children? Is it worth it to know your wife never has to worry about money again? Is it worth it to know, men, if something happened to you, that guess what, your children and family are taken care of? Is that worth it to you? I think it is to most of us. But the thing I've found through this industry and being involved and speaking all over the world for 30-some years is I know what matters most to people. They want to feel valued, and they want to matter, and they want to be significant. And I guess my question to you is what you do every single day, and you spend the hours of your day going 40, 50, 60 hours a week, does that matter to you? Does it matter to others? Does it create significance in your life? Does it create value in your life? I found that when you pour your life, when people become more powerful and more important than money, and you can work in a business where those are the priorities, it creates the significance and the success simultaneously in our life. And the second question you're asking now is, can I do it? And my answer is yes. I've worked with people that didn't have enough money, couldn't even pay their rent, and they built a big business. Why? Because no one cares where you've been. No one cares where you are now. What people care about is where it is that you want to go. We have the finest training system in the industry, not only from Seacret's back office and what they can provide for you, but just our own personal mentoring, what goes on with Kevin and me and the top leaders in our organization, the top leaders in this country that are givers. And we have a program that just says to you, all you got to do is say, I'm willing. Craig, here's where I want to go, and I'm willing. I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm willing to spend the time and effort to change my life and the life of my family. And my greatest blessing in this business, I lived in a $5 million house. I've driven every expensive car you can drive. I've traveled to the finest resorts in the world. But always the greatest blessing for me has always been in this industry, is sitting in an audience at a convention and watching someone that you met at a Starbucks with a single mom with 3 kids and watched her go across stage because now she doesn't have to go to work anymore. To watch people come from where the low self-esteem and the lack of belief in themselves to go out and become something great and to lead people to change lives. Those will always be our greatest blessings. And that's why the company is I call it many hands, one heart. Because the Ben Shabbat family that own this company, they get this industry. They get relationships. That's why I'm here. And that's why so many people are pouring into this business right now. Because I just saw a thing on in the news today on the internet, a company called Telex, which is an MLM company that did long distance service and stuff. The man's in jail right now. He bilked $1 billion from the people in the organization. It was greed and ego that drove the top of that company. Many, many people had big dreams and big goals of doing great things. And they went out and they built and they did things in the field that they were told to do. But because of the greed and the ego at the top of the company, one of them's in jail, the other one's fled the country to South America. And they've run away from the thousands of people that they promised things to. The one thing I can tell you right now is I wouldn't be in this business, I wouldn't be on this call tonight if I didn't believe that in our business you don't even look over your shoulder. We have a family behind us that will put money in this.
Anyone else just lose Craig?
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin, it's Lonnie. I lost him.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and close up shop. The number on the screen is I'll go ahead and message him just in case he wants to jump back on. But what he wants to do is certainly get with the person that invited you on the call And Craig is more than willing to have a three-way call with anybody if you have more questions. The most important thing is we want to make sure that your questions get answered. You have to make an educated decision. So that's the reason for his number being posted up on the screen. He'll have a three-way call with anybody. Get back to the person that invited you on the call here tonight, and let them know your thoughts. Let them know kind of where you stand on the information that you just learned. So thank you, everybody, for dialing in. Sorry for the few technical glitches along the way here. We'll get better for next time. But everyone, have a great night, and get back to the person that invited you. Get back to him right now. Let them know. Text message, phone call. Get back to him right now and let them know your thoughts on where you stand on this business. So thanks for coming on, everybody, and everybody have an awesome night.